The track here now, Gout Gout gets up on John, moves past John, he can't be stopped, he is incredible, 10.17.
10.17.
Oh, wow. He started behind the 8 ball.
At just 16 years old, Gout Gout has done what many athletes spend their lives chasing, clocking an eye-watering 10.17 seconds in the 100 meters at the Queensland Track Classic. He didn't just break records, he shook the foundations of Australian sprinting. This isn't just a story about speed, it's about defying expectations, embracing identity, and setting sights on Olympic greatness. Gout Gout's journey starts in Ipswich, Queensland. Born to South Sudanese parents who escaped a war-torn homeland, Gout was raised on stories of perseverance and grit. His parents, like many immigrants, faced cultural and economic hurdles, but were determined to give their children a better life. Their resilience was passed down to Gout, who would channel it into his athletic ambitions. Interestingly, his name itself tells a story. Originally spelled Gout, a simple immigration error changed it to Gout. Rather than correcting it, his family embraced the new identity. That name, unusual and often mispronounced, would soon be echoed in stadiums and headlines across the country. Before he was sprinting into record books, Gout was dribbling soccer balls across suburban fields. Like many kids his age, he idolized Cristiano Ronaldo, mimicking his moves and dreaming of football stardom. But fate had other plans. During a school athletics carnival in year 7, Gout stepped onto the track and left everyone, including himself, stunned by his raw speed. It wasn't long before coaches and scouts began to take notice. Transitioning to full-time track training, he ditched the cleats for spikes. That decision, made in his early teens, would become the cornerstone of a legacy in the making. What amazed coaches even more was his natural running form, fluid, powerful, and uncoached. It was as if speed was wired into his DNA. December 20th, 24. The Australian All-Schools Athletics Championships. Gout lines up for the 100 meters, his face composed, his focus laser-sharp. What happened next would rewrite record books. He blazed through the heats in a wind-assisted 10.04 seconds, but in the final, with legal wind conditions, he delivered a staggering 10.17 seconds. That time wasn't just a win, it was a record. The fastest ever by an Australian under 18 athlete. What made this moment even more electrifying was the lit-up among his competitors. They knew they were witnessing something historic.
The track here now, Gout Gout gets up on John, moves past John, he can't be stopped, he is incredible, 10.17.
And he wasn't done. The following day, he shattered the Australian national 200-meter record, clocking an unbelievable 20.04 seconds. That broke Peter Norman's 56-year-old record of 20.06. To put it into perspective, Peter Norman won silver at the 1968 Olympics and stood on the podium with Tommy Smith and John Carlos during their historic Black Power salute. Gout's time not only dethroned a legend, but symbolically linked two eras of athletic excellence. The reaction was immediate and global. Social media exploded with praise, international athletics forums lit up with comparisons, and Australian sports outlets declared him the next big thing. For a 16-year-old, it was dizzying. But Gout remained unfazed. He smiled, gave a humble nod to his family and coaches, and walked off the track, already thinking about his next race. Global comparisons began flooding in. Analysts pointed out that Gout's 200-meter time made him the second fastest under 18 athlete in the world, trailing only Ariane Knighton of the US. But perhaps the most mind-blowing moment came when Usain Bolt himself acknowledged Gout's talent. To be mentioned in the same breath as the fastest man alive, that's more than an accolade, it's a prophecy. As the hype grew, so did the opportunities. Gout signed a sponsorship deal with Adidas, a move that placed him alongside global sprinting elites. This wasn't just a marketing deal, it was a statement. Gout Gout is here to stay. He became a figure not just in athletics, but in youth culture. Kids across Australia began mimicking his start stance. Hashtags in his name trended, and his races started drawing record online views. To sharpen his skills further, Gout traveled to Florida, joining forces with Olympic champion Noah Lyles and legendary coach Lance Brauman. It was a pivotal move. Training alongside professionals gave Gout not just the physical tools, but the mental toughness needed to compete on the global stage. "I am trying to show you what's up. I am trying to come out there with a bang," said the 17-year-old Gout after meeting and training with Lyles and his coach Lance Brauman in Claremont, Florida in January. The camp was intense, 2-a-days, strict nutrition, endless drills, but Gout thrived. In a behind-the-scenes video, Lyles was seen praising Gout's focus. "He's 16 going on 26, he joked. That kind of discipline, rare in teenagers, became Gout's hallmark. He returned to Australia with renewed energy, blazing through national events and setting new benchmarks. At one point, he clocked a wind-assisted 9.99 in the 100 meters and a 19.84 in the 200 meters, both blisteringly fast times that hinted at what's to come. Coaches began speculating that, with just a few more years of technical refinement, Gout could enter the elite sub-10-second club legally, a feat few Australians have achieved.
Gout Gout has broken the magical 20-second barrier as he took the 200-metre title at the Australian Athletics Championships in Perth. The teenager's biggest threat in the final was Lachlan Kennedy, who only just lost the 100-metre final to Rowan Browning last night.
Even prodigies face hurdles. At the 2025 Maury Plant Meet in Melbourne, Gout faced a rare defeat in the 200 meters to fellow young star Lachlan Kennedy. But rather than sulking, Gout took it in stride. "It's part of the process," he said. "You win, you learn, you grow."
Moment, Kennedy's in front, Gout's coming hard, very, very hard, Kennedy's won!
That mentality is part of what sets him apart. He's not just chasing times, he's building a mindset for longevity. With so much pressure and media attention, many young athletes crumble. Gout thrives. Every loss becomes a lesson, every challenge a motivator. His coach noted that after the defeat, Gout was the first to show up at practice the next morning. No sulking, no excuses, just work. With the 2025 World Championships in Tokyo around the corner and the 2028 Olympics in Los Angeles in his sights, Gout has his roadmap laid out. Every race, every meet, every training session is a step toward those global stages. His goals? Break the 10-second barrier legally, win an Olympic medal before turning 21, and perhaps one day challenge the world record. Lofty dreams? Maybe. But for someone who's already broken national records and drawn praise from Bolt, nothing seems impossible. And it's not just individual glory he's after. Gout has expressed a deep desire to uplift others, particularly young athletes from refugee and migrant backgrounds. He's spoken at schools, participated in community clinics, and even launched a small online series where he shares training tips and motivational messages. His vision goes beyond the finish line, beyond medals and records. Gout's rise has inspired a new generation of athletes, particularly from immigrant and underrepresented communities. He's a symbol of possibility, proof that you don't need the perfect background to make it big, just talent, work ethic, and belief. His story resonates because it's not just about winning races, it's about rewriting narratives. It's about turning mispronounced names and overlooked beginnings into global headlines. It's about speed, yes, but also identity, ambition, and legacy. Gout has become more than an athlete. He's a cultural icon in the making. Gout Gout isn't just fast. He's transformative. From Ipswich school fields to national stadiums, he's carved a path few have dared to tread. And with every explosive start and powerful finish, he's proving that age, background, and obstacles are no match for raw talent and relentless drive. As the world watches his next moves, one thing is clear: this 16-year-old isn't just chasing greatness, he's redefining it. If Gout Gout's story blew your mind, hit that like button and share it with someone who needs a dose of inspiration. Want to see where his journey takes him next? Subscribe and turn on notifications, because this sprinting prodigy is just getting started.
Away, he got not such a good start tonight. Kelly just leads him from Kepagelli. Out wide, Cassiano and John. Now Gout starts to stretch away, and stretch away he does, and he's done it. He's broken the 10 seconds again.
At the 2025 Australian National Athletics Championships in Perth, all eyes were locked on a 17-year-old with a name you don't forget. Gout Gout. Coming off a blazing national record in the 200 meters and having already held his own against elite global talent, expectations were sky high. But what happened next? No one saw it coming. From the moment he stepped onto the track for the junior men's 100-meter semifinal, the energy shifted. Gout launched out of the blocks with his most explosive start yet. Head down, Perfect drive phase and absolute precision. With 20 meters to go, he eased up, clearly conserving energy. But even then, he stopped the clock at a jaw-dropping 9.99 seconds. Only 7 junior athletes in history have ever run sub-10 in the 100 meters, but before the world could crown him, there was a twist. A plus 3.5 meters per second tailwind made the time ineligible for record books. Still, that didn't stop the internet from exploding. The real kicker, that was just the semifinal. In the final, things got messy. Gout didn't get the clean start he had earlier. He lagged in the opening 10 meters, a moment that would have ruined most races. But not for Gout. With astonishing closing speed, he surged forward, clocking another 9.99. This time, the wind was plus 2.6 meters per second. Still over the limit, but much closer. That's 2 sub-10 times in one day by a 17-year-old. To put this in perspective, wind-adjusted conversions suggest Gout's semifinal time could translate to roughly 10.03 seconds under legal wind. Even crazier, these were the only sprint events all day with illegal wind readings. It felt like something or someone was trying to stop this kid from etching his name into history. But Gout doesn't need a record to prove he's a generational talent. And let's not forget, his primary event isn't even the 100, it's the 200 meters. Back in December 2024, at just 16, Gout shattered the Australian national record with a legal 20.04, and in March 2025, he went even faster, a wind-assisted 19.98. That's Usain Bolt territory, literally. Bolt didn't go that fast at 16. This Sunday, Gout's set to run the 200 again at the same championships. But this time, he's had 3 full days to rest. No back-to-back fatigue, no excuses, just pure potential. In the history of the 200 meters, only 5 juniors have broken 20 seconds under legal wind. Usain Bolt, Ariane Knighton, Blessing Afrifa, Letsile Tebogo, and Asinga. Gout could be next. Let that sink in. At just 17, Gout has already run times that rival Olympic finalists. He's built for this. Technically sound, mentally sharp, and physically explosive. Oh, and he's got years left in the junior division. His story began in Ipswich, Queensland, born to South Sudanese parents. At first, he loved football. But by year 7, after dominating a school athletics carnival, the sprint bug took hold. Under coach Diane Shepherd, his growth has been unstoppable. He quickly rose through the ranks, winning state and national titles while fine-tuning his explosive technique. Experts say his tall frame, longer stride length, and unusually high cadence make him a biomechanical marvel. Some analysts even compare his stride pattern to that of Usain Bolt's, just with a more controlled top-end speed. But what really sets Gout apart is his mindset. Despite the attention, he remains grounded. In interviews, he talks about trusting the process and staying focused on improvement rather than chasing clout. His humility is refreshing in a sport where ego can often overshadow performance. This combination of elite ability and mental maturity has drawn praise from athletic legends. Former Olympic champions have labeled him as a future global star, while international coaches are already dissecting his form frame by frame. And with Australia set to host the 2032 Olympics, the idea of Gout peaking on home soil is becoming more than just a dream. It's a national mission. Looking ahead, Gout's pathway appears meticulously planned. He's focusing on major youth championships and select senior-level meets, carefully balancing exposure and development. His coaching team is prioritizing quality over quantity, allowing him time to recover, recalibrate, and come back sharper with each race. And let's talk about his peers for a moment. In an era loaded with young sprinters like Letsile Tebogo and Blessing Afrifa, Gout doesn't just keep up, he often leads. While others rely on raw speed, Gout adds surgical race strategy. He knows when to hit top gear and when to conserve energy. That kind of tactical precision is rare, especially in athletes under 20. What's even more fascinating is how the public has responded. Social media can't get enough of him. Each new race sparks viral clips, analysis breakdowns, and even memes celebrating his unique name and effortless sprinting style. It's not often a junior athlete trends worldwide for running fast. Not once, but consistently. But it's not just hype. Gout Gout is turning heads because he backs up every bit of buzz with results. You can't fake a sub-10. You can't bluff a national record, and you certainly can't manufacture the type of closing speed that leaves seasoned athletes trailing in his wake. So where does he go from here? The short answer, upward. If Sunday's 200-meter race unfolds under legal wind conditions, we could be witnessing a new chapter in track and field history. A legal sub-20 at just 17 years old would catapult him into the stratosphere, not just in Australia, but globally. And from there, World Juniors, Diamond League, the Olympics, take your pick. The long answer? Well, that's where it gets even more exciting, because Gout Gout isn't just about times and titles. He represents the next generation of sprinting, a young athlete from a multicultural background rising through hard work, talent, and sheer passion. His journey is one that resonates far beyond the finish line. So now it's your turn. What do you think about Gout Gout's back-to-back 9.99s? Will he finally go sub-10 under legal wind? More importantly, what time do you think he'll clock in the 200? Drop your predictions in the comments and let us know what you think the future holds for the sprinting phenom from Queensland. Until next time, if you're excited about Gout Gout's rise, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Drop your predictions in the comments. Let's see who gets it right. Share this video with a friend who needs to know the name Gout Gout. Big things are coming. Imagine being 17 and already faster than 99% of professional sprinters. That's exactly what just happened. On April 20th, 2024, the world of track and field was turned upside down. What many believed to be impossible just became history. A high school sprinter, just 17 years old, crossed the finish line of the 100-meter dash in a blistering 9.93 seconds. That teen was Christian Miller from Creekside High School in Florida. And his race wasn't just fast. It was a seismic shift. For decades, breaking the 10-second barrier in high school was seen as unreachable, but Christian didn't just break it, he crushed it. Christian's 9.93 wasn't a one-time fluke. That spring, he clocked 2 more sub-10 races, one of them coming at the United States Olympic trials, where he nearly made the Olympic team with a 9.98. For years, the high school record hovered stubbornly at 10.00 seconds, a mark set by Trentavis Friday in 2014. Few even got close, but Miller not only shattered that record, he did it legally and repeatedly. This performance placed him second on the all-time junior list for athletes under 20, behind only Letziel Tebogo's 9.91 from 2022. What made Miller's times even more stunning was that they were run under legal wind conditions. No artificial help, just raw speed, perfect form, and ice-cold nerves.
It's Tebogo, he's turning round, he's celebrating, he's pointing the finger at Nkrumah. He has run 9.91.
There's an extra layer to this story that makes it even more unbelievable. Not only did Christian accomplish what no other high school sprinter had done, but he did it with a level of consistency that almost feels superhuman. To run sub-10 once is lightning in a bottle. To do it multiple times in the span of months? That's dominance. That's the mark of someone who's not just talented, but disciplined, strategic, and locked in. He didn't just break through a wall, he kicked it down and dared others to follow. Fast forward just a few months. April 2025, Texas. Braden Williams, an 18-year-old sprinter from Duncanville High School, lines up at the Class 6A Region 2 meet. No one's expecting history. But then it happens. 9.82 seconds. The crowd erupts. Coaches are stunned. Competitors are floored. This wasn't just fast, it was world class. There was just one catch, the wind. A monstrous plus 6.0 meters per second tailwind meant the time wouldn't count for record purposes. But let's be clear, this wasn't some lucky gust pushing an average runner. Williams was flying. If we adjust that time for legal wind conditions, he still lands somewhere between 9.88 and 9.96. Either way, it's clear this kid has wheels. And the aftermath of that race? Electric. The video of Williams crossing the finish line spread like wildfire on social media. Coaches and athletes around the world dissected every frame. His acceleration phase, his top-end speed, his form, everything was under the microscope. And what they found was a sprinter who could very well be the next big name in track and field. While the U.S. was reeling from Miller and Williams, another young sprinter was lighting up tracks halfway across the globe. Gout Gout, a 17-year-old from Australia, broke 10 seconds not once, but twice. Both times the wind was just over the legal limit, but the message was loud and clear. Australia's got a future star.
Gout Gout has done the unthinkable, breaking the 10-second barrier in the 100 metres twice in one night.
Gout's style is fluid, his turnover insane. In the 200-meter, he's broken 20 seconds multiple times this year alone. And just like Williams, he's one good day and a legal wind away from making history.